My name is Marida Mohammed, and I am a stay-at-home mom, and I own a business with my twin sister, Narida, called Twice the Spice.
And I'm Narida Mohammed, and I do all of the things she just said.
Oh yeah, that's the carrot cake.
We like to learn about where our food comes from.
We are tasting them to find out which barrels go with which barrel, what variety goes with what variety.
When I think of organic wine, I think about the way the grapes are grown. No pesticides, no chemicals, just letting nature do its job.
Everybody say, oh, pesticide, it goes in the wine or drink pesticide. No, no, there is none of that in the wine we drink.
The majority of the products that we sell, whether they have that certification or not, could also be considered almost organic.
Knowing what we're going to be serving to our customers will be just the perfect addition.
Hi, I'm Marida, and this is our first Twice the Spice takeover. Come on in and take a look. I'm Marida.
And I'm Narida. We're doing our first ever takeover, meaning we get a chance to cook our menu at a restaurant tonight featuring foods that we love to eat.
Oh yeah, that's the carrot cake. Coming through.
Hopefully items that would be on our menu one day when we have a restaurant.
We got to invite all of our friends and family and people who've been wanting to try our food.
We got a chance to both be on MasterChef Canada together. We both made it to the top 50, and I was lucky enough, with a lot of hard work, to make it to second place.
The first course you've had is our callaloo, which we've served with some lime creme fraiche, some salted pigtail, and some microgreens. So I hope you've enjoyed it.
Which happens to be her addition dish, her appetizer dish of the MasterChef finale.
We like food that's guilt-free, and so we always try to go with the healthier option for sure. My knowledge of wine and booze is only that of me drinking it. Our thing is food. We're not quite there with the wine pairings. You know, organic wine, I mean, to me, that means, you know, the fruits that have produced this wine have been, you know, chemical-free, and they've been grown with love, and someone actually went there and nurtured these plants.
This makes a world of a difference when you have something that's organic versus something that's, you know, not organic.
You know, there are so many types of wines. I'm sure we could find something that will complement our food.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Marida. Very nice to
Marida.
meet you.
Welcome to Southbrook Vineyards. I'm Ann Sperling, and I'm the Director of Winemaking and Viticulture. And so I'll be happy to, you know, give you a tasting and show you around and tell you all about what we're doing here at our Biodynamic farm.
I spill all the time.
What it means to me, organic, is a choice of a production system that is transparent and verified by a third party.
I see these beautiful sheep in your vineyard. What's the purpose?
The primary purpose of the sheep is to make compost. There's actually no vines right in this immediate area, and so the sheep can come through, they can graze down all of the cover crop, and at the same time they're going to leave some manure behind to, you know, revitalize the soil. The concept of a whole farm, it's all about biodiversity. We're not just growing vines, we're looking at the needs of the grapes, but also how we can provide them from within the farm. We have the dandelions, the clovers, the grasses, alfalfa. Those are all planted here to feed the vines and feed the sheep. We have insects, birds, all kinds of soil life that adds to that whole biodiversity aspect. So that's free. That's Mother Nature working with us. Biodynamics gives you solutions to improve your crop and improve your production. The main biodynamic preparation, 501, is called horn silica. And what we're doing there is we take very finely ground silica and we fill the horn. We bury it in the summer season. So the concept is that all of those facets, all of those very fine crystals absorb the energy from the sun during the summer season. We use that as an atmospheric spray and then dispersed above the canopy into the atmosphere around the vineyard. And the idea is to balance the forces of the earth with the cosmic forces.
Why do you think more wineries aren't practicing methods that Southbrook is?
It's fairly new. So most of the people that, I studied with, all we learned was a conventional way. Right. No one else can make the wines that we make here because everything is about this place and the expression from it. When it comes to insect pressure, ideally biodiversity works for us. However, if the populations increase, then we harvest willow from the bank there. We brew it into a tea. Every part of the willow plant has salicylic acid in it, which is toxic to the larva and the egg stage of the leafhoppers. You have to be farming organically for 3 years with in the certification process before your crop can be certified organic. So you have to, it's quite an investment in time.
Right. I'm really excited to see how this is made. Can you show us how it's done?
Yeah, let's go into the winery.
Great. Excellent.
Once we have the grapes, either with reds, they're typically without stems, so it's the berries and seeds and juice. We call that must. We bring that in and we ferment them in these big oak vats here. You don't really see a lot going on, but after about 3 days or so, the CO2 starts to bubble out. Fermentation takes about 2 to 3 weeks, and then we drain the wine out of the vat, and then that red wine goes into barrels.
The worst cuisine to match wine with is spicy cuisines, like Indian cuisines. Namaste, my name is Vikram Vij. I am the chef and co-owners of Vij's group of companies. Vij's is an Indian restaurant, but not just an Indian restaurant, but a modern Indian restaurant. I'm the kind of guy who opens a bottle of wine while he's cooking his first course and has a second bottle of wine while he's making the main course.
Hello.
Hello.
Marida, nice to meet
Marida,
you.
Vikram Vij, nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Narida, very nice to meet you.
What was your name again?
Narida.
Narita, thanks for coming. What brings you down here?
Well, we came to join you and try out some beautiful wines, and we also brought you some of our homemade hot sauce.
Lovely.
Yes, we're Trinidadians, so our hot sauce is made with Scotch bonnets and all natural ingredients, and it's a family recipe we grew up on. We heard you're good at, knowing your wines, and we are not.
It's called a wine snob.
Oh, wine snob. Okay, great.
I'm good at wine snob. I've spent a shitload of money in spending. There's nothing low fat about this guy, right? That's exactly what I've done. I put a lot of food and lots of alcohol in there to enjoy every part of cooking, and that's what I enjoy. To be honest with you, when I cook food, I usually drink a bottle of wine while I'm cooking, and I'll have a second bottle of wine while I'm eating. The worst cuisine to match wine with is spicy cuisines, like Indian cuisines.
Right.
You know why?
Why?
Because there's not a single sommelier in this world who, after tasting Indian food, can say to me that I'm having a 1967 Silver Oak Cab or a 68, Mouton Rothschild. None of that. Nobody can. There are way too many spices. So my philosophy is, think of it as if you're gone on a date.
Right. Okay.
You take a sip of your wine, and that's tasty.
Right.
You take a bite of your food, and that's tasty.
Right.
Don't expect this match made in heaven.
Right.
Just enjoy it. Other?
Vikram?
How are you?
Great
Pleasure.
to see you.
My pleasure. Namaste. Thanks for inviting us. Charles Baker from Stratus, I've known him for years from his winery, but I think the first time he came into my restaurant, he was sitting in the middle of the restaurant, and he ordered a bottle of Riesling. Now, I had just opened the restaurant up. I was the very first guy that was pairing wines with Indian food, and I loved Rieslings. And being a sommelier, I absolutely loved Rieslings. And studied in Austria, I knew Rieslings quite well. And I looked at him and I'm saying, this is somebody who knows his stuff. He knows his wine a little bit. Hold the glass always either from the stem or from the bottom up there, just so that, because if you hold it from here, it warms up the glass a little bit. As far as tasting is concerned, there's different schools of tasting. Some people go, they want air. Some people just go on your palate. So it depends on what you're comfortable with, as long as you're able to distinguish what it is. I have always gone because I love that air, I love that noise, I love that.
Can you actually taste a wine and tell which region it's from?
The point of winemaking is to showcase what that soil does and what that winemaker, as a chef of the land, is doing. From a chef's point of view, is like a dish. You create it because you are proud of it. If somebody says to you that they had this duck curry today than 3 months ago and it was a little bit different, thank God it's different. Same thing happens here. The sun was different, the soil was different, the atmosphere was different, the winemaker's mood were different.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Thank you. Yes, you should be able to recognize the vineyard if you're farming it properly.
Thank you for all the knowledge, because now I will look at my wines and taste my wines much differently from now on.
Cheers. Good luck to you girls.
Thank
I
you.
hope you managed to gain some form of experience. So organic, to me, is not just a certification, but it is your lifestyle. It's how you feel. I actually have a problem with certified organic, because that means once you have that paper, you know it, that you're honest or honorable, and that is not right. It should be that you are ethical, you should feel good about what you do, and that's organic to me.
There's a lot of chemical going on in the berry. Nature makes a lot of chemistry, and at the end you end up with a wine with maybe 300 or 400, you call that chemical, but I call them aromatics. Well, good day.
Hello.
How are you? Beautiful time in the vineyard.
Yes, Narida, very nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you as well.
Very nice to meet you.
My name is J.L. Grew, and I'm a winemaker here at Stratus. It's a great day to be in the vineyard.
Absolutely. Beautiful out
Very
here.
exciting time for us to see all these things growing.
What about things like bugs or fungus?
Yeah, no, that's true. We have these as well, and we have to take care of them. You know, for example, sometimes we come to a farm and we'll be boiling big tea, you know, like massive tea.
Wow.
So we are putting plants in there, and these tea are going to be put in a sprayer, and we're going to spray these tea, and some of them will avoid fungus, some of them will avoid bugs. When it comes to insects, we try to be patient with insects. You know, we want to keep a good balance between different types of insects in the vineyard. So even we lose part of the grapes or part of the leaves to insects, we will really try to be very patient, because if you kill some of the insects, the other one might take over and you might create a more problem. You know, if you are organic or not organic, you have to use some fungicide. There is some fungus that grows on the plant, then you need to make sure it's not going to spoil your grape. But another reason we are not organic here is that we are into having neighbors that are growing grapes as well, and they are not organic. So we need a massive buffer between them and us, and we might lose a good deal of our vineyard if we do that. Everybody say, oh, pesticide, it goes in the wine, or drink pesticide. No, there is none of that in the wine we drink. But at the end of the day, you will not grow grapes without any treatment, unfortunately. There's a lot of chemical going on in the berry. You know, nature makes a lot of chemistry, and at the end you end up with a wine with maybe 300 or 400, you call that chemical, but I call them aromatics. You know, before the wine goes in the bottle, the LCBO have a very, very fancy, one of the fanciest lab in the world, in fact, and they are checking all these potential residues of pesticide. So in fact, wine itself, through the fermentation, the yeast do get rid of pesticide naturally. That's the way it is. They transform a lot of things in that wine. But as well, the LCBO is going to check that there is no pesticide left in this. And this is one of here in Canada, we have the most strict legislation about how much you could have, and it's zero.
The majority of the products that we sell, whether they have the certification or not, could also be considered almost organic. I'm George Soleas. I'm the Executive Vice President of the LCBO. Quality Assurance Laboratory is responsible for ensuring that all of the products that we sell at the LCBO are chemically tested, they're safe, they're authentic, and they are compliant with the LCBO guidelines. Pesticide maximum allowable limit in wine would be higher than that of water. You consume much more water than you consume wine, as well as grapes. So you obviously can understand that the limits will be different for wine versus water versus grapes.
Hi, I'm Marida.
Hi, Marida. I'm George.
Meet you.
Hi, George. Nice to meet you. I'm Narida.
Hi, Narida. Nice to meet you as well.
Welcome
to the LCBO
us.
Quality Assurance. Now we are in the laboratory of the Quality Assurance, where we chemically test all of the products that we sell for a number of different chemicals. Here is the lineup of last Monday. All of the samples for the week are open. They're lined up here. As you know, an organic product, and in the case of alcohol beverage, it also has to meet the Canadian organic standard. 98% of the products that we sell, we find no pesticide residues or any of the other components that make that product organic. So I can almost tell you that the majority of the products that we sell, whether they have the certification or not, could also be considered almost organic, although they don't go through the certification. That's why I'm very comfortable to buy these wines, and I don't specifically look for organic wines for my own consumption.
Right. Well, that's great to hear.
Right.
You know, I mean, you really don't need that stamp of approval if it does go through all of that regular testing.
Organic doesn't mean higher quality to me.
Okay.
It just means that it's free of pesticides and that it has gone through a certification program.
Well, Vikram's idea of don't worry about it kind of really actually fits with our lifestyle.
So reality is, don't try to pair too much.
Right.
Just go with your gut feeling.
He's right. You know, when it comes to wines, don't worry about it. Just go for the wines that suit your palate, taste great.
After visiting Southbrook Winery and seeing Anne's, her tour of the vineyard and her process in which she believed with the sheep eating the grass and the biodynamic process and all of that, I truly believed and I agree and I like that.
That's free. That's Mother Nature working with us.
One, she mentioned cosmic forces. I mean, I was completely lost by the term cosmic forces in how it fit into winemaking.
The idea is to balance the forces of the earth with the cosmic forces and to create a balanced environment for the plants.
I don't see the science behind it, and that kind of boggles my mind.
The lengthy process the LCBO goes through before certifying or giving the stamp of approval of a bottle of wine before it hits the shelves of the LCBO. George was quite educational, or he was.
And he assured us, you know, that all of the wines that he puts out, they could be organic wine.
The majority of the products that we sell, whether they have the certification or not, could also be considered almost organic, although they don't go through the certification. That's why I'm very comfortable to buy these wines, and I don't specifically look for organic wines for my own consumption.
Right, because there are no pesticides in their wines after testing them. It definitely makes me feel a little bit like a sucker, because I am the one who goes into the liquor store or the grocery store and is always drawn to the organic products.
After seeing Anne's way of doing things and George, I think George told me that I could be open and more comfortable in going into the LCBO and purchasing really any bottle of wine and knowing that it's okay to consume and enjoy.